Morning, y'all. Welcome to week 9, a few days late. Thank you for your patience. Like there's people out there that were like, she didn't put it out Monday. I'm just kidding. It's totally fine. So how is everybody? Are you good? I am exhausted, like in a good way. Last weekend I went on my girls' trip with some good friends. A couple of years ago, it was my friend Kathy's 40th birthday party, and I had a Folds of Honor opportunity to go to this Folds of Honor event that I had been to before in just north of Albuquerque. And it's just this beautiful Hyatt resort north of Albuquerque. And it was over her 40th birthday. And we'd been having a hard time trying to decide what she wanted to do. And I was like, Kathy, why don't we just go here? And then she's like, yeah, do you think I could invite a couple of people? And the people that host this tournament, the hopefuls, are the most gracious, kind people I've ever met. And he's like, absolutely, bring your friends. So it ended up being Kathy, a friend that she works with, Brittany, and then her friend and cousin that she works with, Kate, and then her sister, Liz. We all got together 3 years ago and went to the hopeful tournament. And it's become this annual thing we do. And we run a game on one of the holes and help raise money for Folds of Honor. And Everett comes for the first part of it and golfs in the tournament. And then he flies home a day earlier than I do, so I have a little extra time with the girls. And this trip has ended up just being so good for the soul. There is so much laughing. There's just so much storytelling. There's just this great part of this girls' trip. It's funny because we've made really good friends with some of the people in Albuquerque, like the hopefuls, Zach and Leah, and their daughter Elena, her new husband Dakota. We have these good golf friends, Ben and David, and just these people that we spend the weekend with, and it's just so good. It's just so much fun. And we do lots of laughing, and okay, I'm going to tell you a story because there's it's a good time, and we're all staying at this beautiful Hyatt resort, Tamaya Resort. They say I say it wrong. I don't know how you're supposed to say it, and it's just gorgeous. And there's a lot of people that come into town for this tournament, and it can get a little rowdy sometimes. I don't necessarily think me and my friends, we refer to ourselves as the hype girls. We bring the hype into your life. That's always our theme for the whole, but it was, I think the night, it was after the golf tournament. And so a lot of people had been drinking all day. We hadn't necessarily been drinking much for most of the day. And so we get to the hotel bar to have dinner and, just socialize with all the people. And you kind of walk in with one of those atmospheres where you and it's a classy establishment, right? Stay classy, guys. And you can, anyway, two grown men kind of a few tables over start to go at it. Somebody that was kind of part of the golf event and somebody that wasn't. I don't really know what the beef was, but it was a little tense. It was a tense situation, and it was a little rowdy. We didn't think much of it just because we weren't really a part of it, and we were in this different situation or different table and small social group, if that makes sense. We knew the other people, but we weren't necessarily hanging out with them. Anyway, so we'd been there, we had dinner, and then the servers get a little overwhelmed sometimes. So I went up to the bar to order the table a round of drinks. I hand the lady, it's the girlfriend Ben, who's 6'4", this big young kid. He's not even 30 yet. He's the most good soul. I think of him as a little brother. But we walk up to the bar together, and I'm gonna buy this round, and I hand my credit card to the bartender, and I said, hey, and I list out the drinks. And she looks to another lady behind the bar, and the lady looks at her and goes, guys, I got cut off at the bar. I've never had that happen in my entire life. And she looks at me, she goes, I'm sorry, you've been cut off. And I was like, excuse me? I have been cut off from the bar? I had one drink at dinner. I'm pretty much sober. There's this piece of me, and I was like, can I just ask why? Why have I been? Anyways, and it turned into this whole thing because I mean, our group wasn't really a part of it. And they're like, well, we've just stopped serving people on the patio in general to get things under control. I'm not sure if you saw what happened. I was like, oh, I did. You know, that's okay. Like, understandable. Like, we'll figure something else out. But then they were serving other people. So it just kind of turned into this like heated moment. And so we got this idea to go like a little bit, because it's like this like beautiful, it's on a Native American reservation, and it's just gorgeous. And so there was a fire pit kind of like down, a huge fire pit. And so we ended up just going down there. Somebody ran into the store, grabbed some ingredients for drinks, and we sat at the fire pit and brought out like our portable speaker and just burned it down. We played, like, I think my voice is still a little raspy because I did so much singing this weekend, like so much singing. I woke up this morning still with Robin in my head. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Whoa. It's just like it's like my favorite thing to do is just to like dance and sing with my friends, and to do it with this group over the weekend. It was so good. It was really, really good. So it was like a really good weekend. But we got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. And you know, the mom and me, you just hit the ground running. Like you just go, go, go. And on top of that, like literally we flew out Thursday, and while I'm flying out on Thursday, I get this long email from the hospital that I'm going to start work with in less than 2 weeks. And it's like, here's the pre-employment tasks that we're still missing from you. One of them was like my official transcript for my nursing degree. There were 3 tasks. 2 of them I literally got done in the airport. But the third one is they needed me to verify my prior nursing employment. Y'all, we are talking about 2008 to 2011. You don't even have to have tax documents from that long ago. And that is what they want from me. They want either my very first W-2 or my very first and my very last. And there were like all these things that I could do. So I immediately get on the website and contact HR. So my hospital that I used to work at in Savannah, Memorial Health University, has since been bought out by a bigger organization. So I like email though, and I'm like, hey, do you have records of my employment? They were good. I give them credit on this. They emailed me back almost immediately and were like, hey, we don't have any employment records from before 2018 or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God. And it affects my starting pay like pretty dramatically. And so one of the other things that I could do to verify it was reach out to somebody that I worked with that still works for the organization that can like verify what my role was, dates, all this stuff. And so Monday, I go through all my tax documents I can find every year, but guess which one? 2011. It's not like a lot happened for me in 2011, you know, just my entire world got turned upside down when Jeremy died. So then I'm like, shoot. So I'm like, what do I do now? And like, one of the other things was if I had a pay stub. I love that they like we're talking over 15 years ago, right? So I go to the world of social media and I just start kind of like cold messaging people that I used to work with. And you know, I have been so blessed with amazing people in my life. The manager, my old manager for labor and delivery at the hospital, she still works there. She totally sent the email this morning and it's like, whew, thank goodness. So I'm still gearing up. I'm getting ready to go to work and I'm excited. There was this part of me has a podcast and get filmed on Monday where I'm like, I've really got to get diligent though about filming and making sure I like set aside some time. So with the idea that we can post on Monday. So anyways, kind of rambling, but that was my weekend. It was really good. You know, every year at the golf tournament, the girls and I, we kind of go around the table and we talk about what was your goal last year and what's your goal for, or like, how'd you do with your goal last year and what's your goal for next year? And my goal last year was that I really wanted to work on being true to myself. And you know, I was thinking about how to talk about this because it's kind of hard to explain if you don't have all the backstory of the messy years for me. And we're getting there. But there's this part of me that as I reflected on this past year, and then I had like the best therapy session with Ashley yesterday, like so good. There's this part of me that is like, I feel like I'm finally putting together what it means to be true to yourself, right? Like, I talked about being raised in a household where it felt like love was conditional, and that kind of like fed into my need for perfection because I felt like that's the only way I could be loved. I think addressing that was the first real big piece for me, right? Because it's like I had been raised in a household where it was like if you saw people emotionally struggling and emotionally acting out, I was kind of groomed to be the strong one, meaning I should just take it and I should help them because I'm a stronger person, which there's like the smallest bit of truth to that, but in all reality, right? Like you are the primary caregiver for your emotions. Always. It is never anybody else's job to take care of your emotions. And there has been this piece of me over the years with people that I love and people that I struggle with particularly, that I am continuously sacrificing my emotions to try to help these people and to try to make them feel better. And over the years, I've done so much recognition of like, A, why I'm that person, and then B, how do I set healthy boundaries in my relationships, right? And boundaries, I think, has become such a like a punch word. It's a word, right? And my therapist and I were talking about yesterday, Ashley and I, and she's like, you got to remember, boundaries don't have to do with anybody else's actions because they, like you have no control over it, right? Boundaries have everything to do with what you were willing to do for other people. And it was just such a good reminder of me of like, I have to come back to myself always, right? And this will probably be constant work for me of like learning to just be the person that really sits and heals my heart, right? I don't know. I'm kind of rambling right now, but it's just been big. And I was thinking about it this weekend because I was looking around the fire pit at these people that I didn't grow up with them. I didn't know a lot of them, but man, they love me like really, really well. And I can be messy and I can be imperfect and I can sing. Y'all, I realized that I just like sang a small verse for you on this podcast, which is like kind of hilarious because no part of me can sing, right? But like I can be messy and imperfect with these people and they still love me. Like big, man, big. And I don't know, I'm kind of just sitting here in awe today about the friends that I've had over the years and how blessed I am with that. I don't know. I just incredibly thankful for it and incredibly thankful to have really close friends over the years like Kathy that have supported me in my mental health work, identifying what it means to have healthy boundaries, how to show up for people, all these things. It's been interesting. So anyways, that was my week. What'd you do? I'm just kidding. What was your emotional awakening? All right. Anyways, let me pick up with the storytelling again. So I left off talking about the messy years for Jeremy and I, and with him graduating Ranger School and then me graduating nursing school, and it's fun for me that I kind of got through that part because that was probably like the hardest time in our marriage. And so it felt good when we made it through that. So many people when we decided to get married young, I don't want to say didn't believe in us, but were worried about us, might be a better way to say it, right? That we weren't going to make it. And we were starting to watch some of our military friends that had gotten married at the same time crumble. Like early relationships in the military tend to not survive. I say that. I think it's true. It might not be if you fact check me, but I feel like it is from what I saw. So we made it through that. He graduated. I can't remember if he graduated. It doesn't matter. I think he graduated Ranger School first, and then I graduated nursing school. And it was like all of a sudden we had like won the lottery financially. Like I'm actually bringing in a real income outside of the gap where half my paycheck went to my wardrobe. When he graduated Ranger School, he shortly after made E5, so was at that point considered an NCO or non-commissioned officer, and received a significant pay increase. And so we decided to go ahead and buy a house. And this was after like the very first kind of tank in the economy. And so there was like a first time home buyer tax credit too that we were trying to take advantage of. And I had like the best idea of where we should buy a house. I had found this like adorable neighborhood in Richmond Hill where like front porches, shutters on the windows, colorful houses. I was like, this is where we should buy. It was so cute. And so we did. We bought a house. Jeremy was actually deployed, so I had to do it with like a power of attorney, and bought it. Like on top of it, let me back up. So we had finally really found a groove, right? Like those first 2 years were so abnormal with him going to Ranger School, coming back, deploying. Like just the amount that he was gone was much more than it would be moving forward. So after he graduated Ranger School, May 85, went on deployment, we got in a groove where he would deploy for 3 months, come home for 6, deploy for 3. And that was our routine. And it worked, and there was like an emotional routine that we would go through in this deployment cycle, right? Like he deploys, he comes home. We would have this like wonderful honeymoon phase where it's like, oh my God, I'm just so glad you're home. I don't care about anything that you do. And then give us like 2 or 3 weeks. And all of a sudden it's kind of like, you're home and you're messing up my routine and you're loading the dishwasher wrong and you're putting the dirty clothes in the wrong place. And we'd kind of have to like figure out how to live together again. We got much better, both of us, right? Like I got much better in how I communicated that to him. He got much better kind of understanding why it was important to me and respecting it about me. And then we got a good groove. We'd have a couple months of just like some really good time. And then it would gear up for the next deployment. And we would go through the whole, like him kind of emotionally checking out, me getting emotionally needy, and then he'd deploy. And it's like reset. And so we're in this cycle. And so, and it just, although challenging, right? Like I don't want to say not normal because it is for a lot of people. It just is what we went through. And it was, we found a good groove. Like we made it work. And so we found the house together like right before he deployed. So he had seen it, right? So he knew what we were buying. He was good. But then he deploys and I go through the whole process. And honestly, that 3-month period, it was almost, I don't say exactly when he got home, but I think it was like our closing date and stuff. Like I think I closed maybe like 3 or 4 days before he came home from the deployment, and then we moved together, which was like super, super exciting. So, and we bought this adorable house. We figured out what it meant to be homeowners. It was a brand new house, a new build. So that was kind of fortunate because we didn't have to do a lot of work. I do not think we would have been good at that at that stage in our life. We got a lawnmower. We had a yard to take care of. And yeah, we were in a really good place. And I was cycling yesterday. I was trying to think of like stories to tell about Jeremy because these years were almost like so stable in our routine that there wasn't, and there's not a ton of like funny or great stories to tell you. I will tell you, there was one that popped into my mind. So I have a very specific one where Jeremy had been out in the field training. So there were times when he would like leave for a couple days at a time. They go training and then he'd come home, and he had been out training for like the week or whatever and came home like in the middle of the night, like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And it was the weekend. I had it off, or I had the day off. I don't know if it has a nurse. It could have just been a random Thursday. But so I decided I was going to wake up early and mow the yard so that he didn't have to worry about it. We often did chores like that together anyways, but I was like, I'm going to wake up early, mow the yard, and then we can just be done with, my dog is saying hi. Done with that for the day. So I'm out there and I'm mowing the yard and I'm getting it done. And then I actually really remember doing this. I mowed over the like metal water grate pipe thing cover because I thought it would be fine. And I was trying to be fast in mowing the yard, and it was not fine. It broke the lawnmower blade. Broke the blade. And so I keep I keep trying to mow because I don't know what to do, and it's just like woo, 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 woo. So I like go over to our garage port, and I'm like looking at it, and I have no idea what to do. And it's about this time that Jeremy comes out with his cup of coffee, and he's like, well, that doesn't look good. And I'm like, and you can see the blade is like visibly bent and messed up. And so we go to Lowe's, we pile up, we go to Lowe's, we buy a new blade, we come home, the blade doesn't work. Anyways, it ended up being this like entire day ordeal. I think we did 3 trips to Lowe's. The final trip to Lowe's was literally, we bought a new lawnmower because we couldn't fix the other one, and the yard was like halfway mowed. And I just remember I felt so bad. Like I felt so bad. Like I had messed up. Like I remember, I think on our way to Lowe's the second time, like turning to Jeremy and being like, can you just yell at me? Like, can you just lay into me a little bit about this? Like how stupid I was. And he just looked at me, he was like, mistakes happen. It's totally fine. Like, and I just remember sitting there, and I think about this moment because I feel like I can emotionally understand a little bit more now than I did then, of just in our marriage, there was room for error, which is probably why I felt so loved by Jeremy, right? I didn't have to be perfect with him. But also I felt like I deserved to be yelled at. Nobody ever deserves to be yelled at. Just kind of like how, I don't know, how conditioned I was to be punished. And shamed for mistakes like that might be what I will say about that. So we I remember we finally got the yard done, and then we went and got Mexican food. We had a Mexican restaurant we would eat at like at least once a week in our little town. I still love Mexican food. And we went, and it being like 5 o'clock. So, I mean, we were at this like all day long. We also, at some point, like we had set the car keys on the bumper to the car when we got home, and then I remember we couldn't find them. So we like went and got the other set and lost a set of car keys like on the highway. Somebody like tracked us down later and was like, we found your car keys. People are amazing. I was like, oh my gosh. So it just was like one of those days, but also this was, I don't know, this was our marriage. Like we were in such a great place. And Jeremy was fantastic. I mean, we would still fight. We were married, but it was good. We also started a thing when we bought the house, and the boys were in town. We hosted Sunday night dinners. This was the other thing I was thinking about. And I loved Sunday night dinners. So I will say I came from a house where like sitting down and sharing a meal together is just what you do. And so Jeremy, I think, came home at one point and just talked about how nice it was to have home cooked meals. And I was like, oh my gosh, the guys that live in the barracks do not get this. And so on Sunday nights, we would host Sunday night dinners. And it was just the single guys. Because if we started inviting the couples, because we did have couple friends like the Klobutzes and the Peevleys and the Cannons. Like we had people, but if we started inviting all of them, it just ended up being too big, right? So there was like, this group of guys, it was like Alessandro Platino, Justin McIntosh, Chris Nesbitt. Like there just was this like core group that was at our house every Sunday, and I would cook for them. And I loved Sunday night dinners, like loved it. It was so good. And it was fun. Like it was fun to hear the boys talk. It was fun to hear their stories. We did not go out a ton. Like we just never... we were social people, and maybe it's just because we were young. I don't really know, but I do remember one time Jeremy was like, yeah, everybody wants us to go downtown this weekend, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I just really don't want to do it. I was like, just tell them I said you couldn't. Like, be like, my wife's been working all week. She's really tired. She doesn't want to go. I found out after he died, he got that one pass to do it, and he just always told the people that. He was like, oh no, my wife's too tired. I would have loved to go out maybe a little bit more than what we did. But we tended to just host things at our house. Jeremy absolutely was a homebody, without a doubt a homebody. his favorite Friday night was like a good Bud Light and a good movie and a good meal. Like, yeah, it just, that's the kind of couple we were. And honestly, I loved it too. It was good. Time with Jeremy was always good. Our date nights consisted a lot of just dinner and a movie. We were both really big movie people, and that was great for us. So it just, that was us as a couple. It was, I like to think of those as the good years. It was great. We had worked hard to get where we were. We were enjoying it, and it was really awesome. So then all of a sudden, the question comes up about, when are we going to have kids? And we had gotten married so young. There had been this part for both him and I that had always been like, let's just wait. Like, those first years were hard and stressful and challenging. Throwing in a kid, as much as both of us wanted to be parents, like, we both loved children. I think we at least had the wisdom to wait a little bit. And so I think that's where I'm going to pick up next week, is just talking about the idea of having, like, expanding our family, because those are some really endearing stories. And I don't want to rush them. So anyways, that's just, the good years for Jeremy and I. Lots of good parties that we hosted, lots of time with friends. I was in such a good place with my own friends. Like, I had Katie, I had Cecilia, had moved to Savannah, and she was a really good friend. And she actually started to go through nursing school where I graduated from, just kind of like we had talked about things that she could be doing and things of that sort. I encountered Mary. These are all the people that come to Tybee. And there were more. Like, I had more really good friends, but those were pretty tight. Yeah, it was good. It was a good life. Abnormal in the essence that our boys were coming and going, but I also, I remember one time I had been started a new medication. I'm kind of jumping ahead. I'll talk about this, but I was driving home from work, and I had, the medication would make me nauseous. And so I vomited in my car. I was driving, and I wasn't in a place where I could pull over and vomit on the side of the road. So I just remember trying to hold it, and it spraying. I mean, it was so gross. But I was driving home to watch Addison, Katie's little girl. I think she was going to a funeral, if I'm being honest. And I pull into the driveway, and Katie's standing there waiting for me because I was a little bit late because I hadn't felt well. And there is just vomit all over my car. All over my car. And I get in, and Katie's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I think I just need some food." And so I went and got some cracker. And when I came out, Katie had cleaned my vomit. She'd cleaned my car. There were numerous times Katie's cleaned my vomit, and not the drunken vomit, I'm really sick. Cecilia and Justin ended up moving into the same neighborhood that we lived into. It just interesting. It just was so good. And I'm kind of thinking through it clearer now and rambling, so it's fine. But I'll pick up with our journey of becoming parents next week. It's a good one. There's a part of me right now that's catching on, we're getting towards the end of my time with Jeremy. Whew, that hit me from nowhere. Oh, and that's okay. I knew that was going to happen. I knew we were going to get there. Sometimes I think I just stop for a minute and feel like I didn't have enough time. I don't have enough stories to tell about him. I wish I had more. But I think that's grief. And the piece that I hope you see as I continue the story after Jeremy dies is Jeremy has still lived in me and Everett wholeheartedly, right? Whew. Yeah. But today, I think I am. I'm just feeling a ton of gratitude for the friendships and the people that God has placed in my life. I'm thankful to tell the stories that I do have, and the courage that I have lived my life the way that I have. Today was messy. I know that. I appreciate you listening and bearing with me. I am content. Like, it was fun for me. There were numerous people's. I'm not tired. It's fine. Numerous people that I saw this weekend that were like, "Oh my God, your podcast!" And I got a couple texts from some people that have listened to it since then. And I just continue to be blown away. Right? Like, there's this rawness. One of the things we talked about was just how messy. Like, I sat down today. I put on mascara and my eyebrow stuff. And Todd, my producer, he's like, "You look great, babe." And I was like, "Thanks." But this is the rawness, right? Like, this is the messiness of this. And it was funny with the Hype Girls too. We were talking about it because, like, my goal with this continues to not want to be an influencer. Like, I'm not out to sell products and tell you what to buy. And I am truly out here trying to help encourage you to stay classy and choose love. Right? Like, and maybe stay classy is my, like, kind of humorous way of saying stay true to yourself, right? Be an individual that's kind and true. But that's my goal, right? And those of you that are on the journey with me, I love each and every one of you, like, truly. It's fantastic. So anyways, that's it for this week. It's messy. It's unorganized. Welcome to my brain. But in the meantime, stay classy and choose love.